Hey guys, this is me, Kevin Murphy, on my channel called Narcissistic Abuse Learning Who I Am Again. In this video, I want to talk about why we choose spouses and partners that remind us of our narcissistic parent. Normally, this is all done subconsciously. This is usually a situation where if the man had an issue with their mother, they or the mother was the narcissist in this man's life, they will gravitate to other women who are somewhat resemblance, either in looks or attitude, like that narcissistic mother. And the same thing with women who will go after men who remind them of their narcissistic dad. So usually these are these are very dysfunctional situations. They happen when we ourselves as survivors have not fully healed from our abuse, and we start to try to fix something that is broken in that relationship with that parent. So I'll give you a couple of examples of what I mean by subconsciously looking for your parent in that relationship with your spouse or your partner. So let's say, for example, you're female and you had an emotionally distant dad. He showed no empathy. He was abusive verbally and psychologically and perhaps physically to the mother. And you witnessed this as a young lady, and you saw how dad marginalized mom, dad belittled mom, dad was controlling to mom, and things like that. And there probably were times where dad was controlling to you and marginalized you. And so this is what you grew up thinking was normal. You grew up believing that all men treat their women like this, or all men treat their wives or their partners this way. And so what you do is you will subconsciously try to attract other men that are emotionally unavailable, who are controlling, who could be physically abusive, in order to feel safe, in order to fulfill that sense of normalcy. And you haven't learned that it's not normal to be in a relationship with someone who is physically abusive. It's not normal to be in a relationship with someone who is emotionally or psychologically abusive towards you. But since that was the template that was mapped out for you, that's all you know. And unfortunately, the parents did not, as parents, it's their responsibility to show us what a normal, healthy relationship looks like. And when their parents are dysfunctional, narcissistic, borderline, anything like that, that can really throw us off. And so a lot of women that I have spoken to, a lot of women that I know who are in situations with unhealthy men, some men who I know that are in situations with unhealthy women or narcissistic women, come from backgrounds where the opposite sex parent marginalized them, dismissed them, treated them like garbage, and just gave them this sense of they're not good enough. So they weren't able to fix it as a child. So they're trying to subconsciously fix it in their partner. They feel that I got it this time. I can fix my husband. I can fix my wife. If only I give them just enough loving. If only I give them just enough money. If I made enough money. If only I bought her that big beautiful home. If only I bought her that big beautiful car, or made his favorite dinner every week or every other day, then they would love me. And when you're operating like that, you're delaying your healing process. You're delaying your journey from really experiencing what God has for you. You're delaying your you're just you're pushing really good people out of your life and you're settling for crumbs of love. You're settling for things that you shouldn't be you shouldn't even be tolerating. So it's important to realize what you're doing and how you. It's important for you to, like I said in my video yesterday, to learn who you are again, to learn that you are more than your trauma. You're more than what the narcissist has said about you. And when you're not healing, when you're not working on yourself, you will jump into these relationships. You will jump into dysfunctional patterns like your mom, like your dad, and become a codependent yourself and feel that you can fix these people and these people can't be fixed. These people are disordered. These people are choosing to be abusive or choosing to be psychologically damaging, and it's up to us to choose to say no more. We're not going to choose unhealthy patterns. We're not going to choose unhealthy partners. We're not going to choose people who are going to marginalize us, or choose people who are going to hit us, or choose people who are going to be psychologically or emotionally neglectful toward us. Those are things that we saw in our childhood. We know cognitively it's not right. We know in our soul it's not right. So why are we going to repeat the same patterns that our parents, our codependent parent, did with our narcissistic parent? So it's very important to recognize these patterns and to know why we get into these situations. So a way to, if you find yourself in a relationship with like a significant other who is marginalizing you, who is telling you that you're not good enough, that you have that's treating you or reminding you of that parent, then it's important to really work on finding ways to exit that relationship, finding ways to write a list of things that how this person is very compatible or similar to that narcissist parent you grew up with, because we as survivors, we know in our gut, we know in our soul what we're dealing with, but we ignore those red flags. We ignore the things that are blaring right in our face that we should be truly paying attention to. And the reason why we're doing that is because we're not fully healed. We're trying to fix or mend something that was broken in our childhood. And we feel that if we fix this person, if we fix this relationship or make this person better, then I got it. Then I'm worthy. Then I'm not who the narcissist says I am. Then I'm not a piece of shit. I'm not garbage. I'm not weak. I'm not any of these things. And the thing is, when we're doing that, we're subconsciously trying to get approval from our narcissistic parent. That's exactly what we're trying to do. We're still trying to get that sense of approval and that sense of validation. And you may be no contact with your narcissistic parent. You may not have had any contact with them for many years, but you've chosen a narcissistic partner, and you're doing all of the things that you wish you could have done with your narcissistic parent with this narcissistic partner, by doting on them, by loving on them, by doing by reinforcing bad behavior and reinforcing things that should be considered deal breakers. So, and when you're doing that, you are still not fully healed. And guys, I get it. Healing from narcissistic abuse is one of the hardest things ever. I listened to a YouTuber some time ago, months ago, who said that getting over a narcissistic relationship is worse than getting over crack or heroin. Now that's some serious shit there. So my thing is, like, it's really important to get in tune with who you are, so that way you stop attracting these negative relationships, so that way you stop attracting these negative situations. and learning more about God and learning more about who you are, and learning more about what your purpose is, because your purpose is not to be in a relationship with someone who is just like your narcissistic father, or someone who is like your narcissistic mother, or repeating those same codependent behavior patterns that your codependent parent did with your narcissistic parent. Like, that is not healthy. That's not okay. God wants you to break those patterns. He wants you to be free of those situations, and to be in a place where you're asserting yourself, where you are feeling more confident in who you are as a person, and not staying stuck in these dead end relationships. I've used this example all the time. It's like watering a dead plant and expecting that plant to grow and to rise up from the dead. The plant's dead, it's not going to grow. So why are you going to continue to water a plant that's clearly dead? And that is your narcissistic relationship. It's dead. It's akin to a dead plant. So the best thing to do is to recognize what this is. If you're in a situation where you are dating a narcissist that reminds you of that parent, you you got to work on planning your exit, and work on trying to become a better individual, so that way you can start attracting other people, healthier people in your life. And another thing too, because we as codependents are, I'm gonna be real with you, are so addicted to the drama. We if Once we find a healthy person, or once we attract a healthy person in our life, we feel like a fish out of water, because this person's treating us nice. This person's respecting us. This person is not calling us names. This person is not marginalizing us or trying to control us. So we feel bored in the relationship, or we feel like this isn't normal. And we normalize the unnormal and denormalize the normal. So that's something that as survivors got to be really careful about, is normalizing the unnormal and denormalizing what is normal. What is normal in a relationship is someone who listens to you, someone who has empathy for you, someone who cares deeply about how you feel, and who will put themselves in the position, even if they don't agree with how you feel, they will still show empathy. Empathy is key to any healthy relationship. If you are with a man or a woman that has no empathy for you, that is a red flag, and that is a recipe for a dysfunctional relationship. So empathy is key. Communication is key. When that spouse or that partner is listening to you, or friend is listening to you, that is very important to any relationship, because it shows care and compassion. When you have someone who's not listening to you, who's not taking responsibility for how they've treated you, and they're projecting on you and they're marginalizing you, those are not healthy situations. But when we come from situations that are like that, we become wired to deal with those kind of situations, and we feel that, oh, this is normal. It's normal that he's calling me a bitch. It's normal that she is going out cheating on me. It's normal that she's financially exploiting me. It's normal that he's not coming home at night. No, those things are not normal. So it's up to us to recognize what these red flags are, what to do with them, how this reminds us of our narcissistic parent, how our behavior reminds us of the codependent that raised us as well, and to do something and to make some pretty difficult decisions on on letting this go. And you can't get to a place to let it go, or prepare to plan your exit, until you recognize what you are dealing with, until you recognize that in some ways this person reminds me of my narcissist parent. In some ways, you got to find that connection, that in some ways I'm trying to fix what was broken in my relationship with my mom, with my dad. And let's say, for example, if your parent was same sex parent who was the narcissist. In my case, that was my case. So if you are heterosexual, you may go and find friendships that are like that. So you might attract other friends who are narcissistic, or other friendships that where you are being, you know, hurt or being abused or being mistreated and things like that. If you are not heterosexual and you have a same-sex parent, the same thing. The same thing goes with if you had if you were a son with a narcissistic mother, and vice versa. If you were a daughter who had a narcissistic dad, you will start to seek out people who remind you of that original narcissist, the original caregiver, because that wound is still fresh. That wound is still there. So what we got to do is, we have to work on that wound. We have to work on that on that scab, and going no contact is just half the battle. Really doing the work while we're no contact is really where the healing comes in. But yeah, going no contact is just the beginning, or low contact is just the beginning of the healing. But doing the work and putting the work in is very, very crucial. So I just wanted to do this video this morning. It was something that was on my heart as I was getting ready for work. And I just hope that any of you viewers who are having any questions about, well, why is it that my wife or my husband or my girlfriend or my boyfriend or whoever remind me so much of my narcissistic parent? Because subconsciously you're trying to fix and heal a brokenness in your relationship with that dysfunctional narcissistic parent, and that is not the way to go. The way to truly heal is to recognize that you can't fix anybody. You can't even fix yourself. That you have your priority is to truly rely on God. I am a huge proponent of this. I believe in God wholeheartedly, and I know that He's the only one that can give me a sense of identity and give me the opportunity to be the person that I need to be and that the person I'm supposed to be. And you can't fix anybody, and no person can fix you. So just coming to that realization that I'm not a fixer. It's not my responsibility or my duty to do anything with my parent or do anything with my narcissistic partner. That it's up to me to get the knowledge that I need to get to move on in order to be the person that I need to be. So anyway, I feel like I'm rambling now. So please like and subscribe. If you have any video requests, please email me in the description box, kevinmurphy28@yahoo.com. I would love to do any kind of requests free of charge. I'm not accepting any donations or anything like that. I'm on here wanting to help people, wanting people to know more about narcissistic abuse and how detrimental this kind of thing is. So this channel here is my ministry, and this is a way that I can give back and help other people who have gone through some of the same things that I went through. So I'm happy to help anybody who is willing to do this journey with me. We can get this done together. So I hope you guys have a great Thursday, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.